The good news is that's not an actual grade. It's going to just be a bonus. But, I mean, we kind of need to know what's going on. We have a test. Yes, it's open notes, open Google, open the world. But if you don't know how to Google or what you're looking for, you still might put dumb stuff. Say what now? The study guide is going to be a bonus. Because I can't handle any more papers in my life without crying.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Miss Clinton, to handle all these papers.
I know, but I can handle a bonus because a bunch of people won't do it. So when you turn it in, I'll add 5 extra points to this perfect 100, and you'll get 105. It'll be great. That doesn't bother me. Words, English, fun times. The Lyric was asking about zero period tomorrow. I am here for you all week, except I won't be at zero period tomorrow because we discussed I have to proctor an AP exam in the morning, so I have to be at the old school first thing bright and early tomorrow. I am posting, so have you done all that junk on that list? Nope. If you weren't here on Friday and you didn't get the math workshop test, I'll go ahead and give it to you when I get done rambling. Have you done Funny Face? That's what the poll was about yesterday. He's due on Friday. You do not have to color unless you're wanting bonus. The Angle Maze, did you show it to me? It was really fast, really easy. A bunch of people still haven't showed it to me though. The 12-2, 12-3 test I'm going to post this afternoon on Google Classroom. It's not due till Friday at 3 p.m., but seriously, Abby Grace is going to have the entire class period tomorrow. So Abby Grace will get it done during class tomorrow, and those focused will, because we do not have enough, you don't have enough time in your life to do all the other stuff. So, not happening. So get it done tomorrow. As long as you're not copying someone else, I don't care if you work with a friend or whatever, but keep in mind if they put the dumb wrong answer, you're going to have the dumb wrong answer. So make sure you're happy with it. Okay, on number 18, we're supposed to do like 4 to the negative 2 equals x. I have to punish the 2, send them to the denominator. So it's really 1 over 4 squared, which is 1 over 16. If you've forgotten your rules of exponents, the good news is the exam is multiple choice. You could press math, log base, and then type log 4, and you could probably guess your way into the answer using the answer choices. Number 19, since they have the same base, they're both log base 3, all I have to do is 2x plus 18 equals 3x. So when I subtract 2x from both sides, I get x equals 18. Okay, number 20 is where the real rules of logarithms that people tend to forget kick in. So most people can remember that because that's nice. Most people have problems from here on out, but I'm talking too fast, so give me a second. Okay, 20 is nice because they're all log base 3. That's good. If they weren't all the same base, we'd have some problems. When we add 2 logs that have the same base, what we do with their terms is we just multiply them. So 7 times x is 7x. So now I have 2 logs, and again, they have the same base. One, you're on my nerves. I'm trying to just give you a perfect participation score for the week. This is going to be hard if you're on my nerves. So 7x equals 14, so x equals 2. So again, since I added, I multiplied, and then since they had the same base, I ignored them and said 7x equals 14 and got x equals 2. On 21, they all say the word log, and they didn't write the base. When they don't write the base, it's an understood 10, right? Good job. It's an understood 10. If you want to add it, you can. It's like if you had a problem that said x plus 7, you know it's a 1x. You don't normally write the 1. You don't normally write the 10. So they all have the same base. Since we're subtracting on the right side, it says log x minus log 8. We're going to end up dividing their terms. So it's going to be log x divided by 8. Again, if you don't want to write the understood 10s, you don't have to. It's just for those who have no idea what's going on in life. Okay, so they have the same base. So again, I can just set 3 equal to x over 8. So I get 24. I should not write in that color. So I get 24 equal to x. Now, most people have told me that they did not enjoy the chapter on logarithms, which I understand. They they are useful in life, but I don't even think you got into how they're useful. I don't think you find that out till pre-cal. So I understand if you were annoyed with logarithms. 22 is probably the hardest question on the study guide then, because it involves 3 rules of logarithms. The first rule it involves has to deal with that 4 and that 2. When you have a number out front, it actually is the exponent. So I'm going to, so log 5y stays the same. No, dear. This becomes log 5r to the 4th. So that 4 is now my r's exponent. And that 2 that was out front is now the exponent of my x. And now, it's the other 2 rules of logarithms we've already discussed today, but the fact that they're all happening in one problem is what makes it a pain in the rear. So since these 2 are subtracting and they're the same base of 5, they're really division, so it's log 5y divided by r to the 4th. I'm going to bring that guy down. So since they were subtracting, that's why I did y divided by r to the 4th. And since these 2 were adding, I'm going to multiply, so my final answer is still going to be log 5, but it's going to be x squared y divided by r to the 4th. Again, if you found that one hard, it's understandable. It is definitely understandable. Yes, dear. Huh? You're good. Use words, I'll answer. I know, I went fast. I was trying to get math over with quickly. It's like everyone besides you has like the shortest attention span known to man now, so it's like if you don't get the words out within the first 10 minutes, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah. Okay, so you picked up your study guide on the way in. I already said it's not a set grade, but if DJ wants to do it, turn it in and get bonus, he sure can. We're going to go over it a little bit just to make sure we're on the same page, because again, even though DJ gets to use whatever it is he's going to use tomorrow to figure his life out, he needs to make sure his answers aren't dumb, so he kind of does need to know what's going on. Sorry, Dan. Say what now? You should. You really should. Okay, I know that even though DJ hasn't been here that much because he's a senior in life's hard, he knows how to draw an angle. We've discussed that enough. He can figure out where to put 70 and draw an angle. He can do the top 6. 7, 8, and 9, find a coterminal angle. For instance, I'll do number 8. To find a coterminal angle, what we're saying is that if we had a coordinate plane, and we were trying to draw 705, so we would probably go around the circle all the way once. Let's see, what's 705 minus 360 is 340, minus 360 is 345. Yes, so 345 is here. That's this angle here. And 705 is still the same spot, so if we went around, let me do 2 different colors. So 345 is this one in blue. I went around all the way till here. And then 705 would be this in brown. I went all the way around once, and then I went back all the way around and came back again, which is really dumb, I guess. But to find a coterminal angle, we're really saying what other angle would be in that same position. We did that on Friday and Monday, and you seem pretty good with that. Yes, for the negatives, you add 360, yes. You do not have to draw these arrow things at all.
So we just draw the little angle.
Minus 360, sorry, it's a minus sign. Yes, it's a minus sign, ma'am. So I literally did 705 minus 360 and got the answer of 345. And then so all I have to do to get my points in life is on my coordinate plane, draw this angle of 345.
Okay.
That's all you have to do to get all your points. I was just proving a point about the coterminal bit, in case you weren't here, that they live in the same spot. The 705 just go on all the way around the circle again in extra time because it's extra. Okay, if you flip to the back, you can mark out 10, 11, and 12. I'm not doing you any justice in life because we need to become more fluent with radians, and we're not going to have enough time. So you do not have to do 10, 11, and 12 because that would require you to understand radians a little better than we do. All we know with radians is that we discussed on Monday how to convert from degrees to radians and radians to degrees. So as a reminder, if you're wanting to...
Ms. Compton?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we have Caitlin Garcia to check out, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Isn't there a button on your calculator?
Yeah.
That says what now?
Isn't there a button on your calculator?
There is a button that says radians and degrees, but there is no button that makes it convert for you. So if I type on my calculator 180, which is in degrees, and then I press enter and then I say mode, go to radians, it doesn't know to change that to just pi. It's not that good. So does your calculator have the radian settings? Yes. Can your calculator convert for you? Absolutely not. Your calculator can't convert for you because your calculator, when you type in 3 pi over 2, or like if you typed in number 15, negative 3 divided by 2, where are you, pi? Second pi. Or I put that wrong. Sorry. Negative 3 second pi divided by 2. When you put that in your calculator, it's going to give you a decimal. So that's the problem, is that your calculator doesn't speak pi. It's going to try to convert pi to a decimal, and we don't want that. So no, your calculator can't do this for you. Okay, so on Monday we were discussing how to go from degrees to radians and how to go from radians to degrees. All you have to know in life, and all you have to do for this test, is you're either doing pi divided by 180, or you're doing 180 divided by pi. It just depends on what you're trying to get. If you're wanting radians to go away, you divide by pi so the pi's will cancel out. If you're wanting your answer to become in radians, which means you're wanting pi's, that's why we would have pi in the numerator. So 13 through 18, no big deal. And then, yes, dear? If we want pi, we would have it in the numerator. If we're wanting to cancel out pi, that's why it would be in the denominator. So you know radians means the answer needs to have pi. But I think you could have guessed that because you're like, oh, number 14 is in radians, number 16 is in degrees. Like you automatically know that because you're just genius. Okay, so that's all the stuff we learned Friday and Monday. And all of a sudden, Miss Compton shows you this. Now, Xavier knows how to graph the point 3, negative 4. He knows how to graph the point negative 4, 9. He knows how to graph these on the coordinate plane, and that's the first thing we're going to do. I'm only going to work the odds. And I'm going to just do it really terribly and fast. So like the point 3, negative 4 over 3 down 4, it's somewhere over here. Point negative 4, 9, negative 4 up 9, it's somewhere over here. Negative 3, 6, somewhere up here. I did those terribly and fast, but everyone knows how to graph those points. You passed Algebra 1 and made it to me. You know how to do that. So now that I've graphed that point, if you read through the problem, it says something about the trig functions. And you and I both know when you were doing right triangle trig, you needed a right triangle. So seriously, using that point, draw a triangle down to the coordinate plane. So we've drawn our right triangles. And we can even put numbers on these triangles because we went right 3 and then down 4. We went left 4 and then up 9. We went left 3 and then up 6. So we can add numbers on all of these triangles except on the hypotenuse. But we know how to solve for the hypotenuse because we've learned the Pythagorean theorem. So 3 squared, 4 squared, I know this one's going to end up being 5, but if you need to write it out, 3 squared plus negative 4 squared equals c squared. 9 plus 16 equals c squared. 25 equals c squared, so c equals 5. I already knew that one because I know my triples, but maybe you don't. On the next one, it's the same issue. I'm missing that hypotenuse, so I'm missing the c squared. So negative 4 squared plus 9 squared equals c squared. Yes, dear? No, you're always going to be missing the hypotenuse on these. Always. Because the x...
The graph looks, because you go left or right, and you go up. So it's not really...
I'll use words and explain why that is in a second. I explained it backwards every other class period, and I feel like this, finally my third time around, to get it right, I need to explain this and then go to big picture. Okay, and if I were to solve on that last one, I've got negative 3 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. So 9 plus 36 equals c squared. And Caitlin pays attention, so she realizes every single time when I'm squaring that negative, I get a positive number. Because she's not going to turn anything in that looks really stupid with the Pythagorean theorem. She's too smart for that. Okay. So let's back up again. So we graphed that point. We drew a triangle. We solved for the third side. And they asked us to find sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant. That's going to be really easy now that we have all those sides. Now, to find sine, 5's always the hypotenuse, 5 your Romaners. Okay, so to find sine, we know the hypotenuse is 5, but we need to know, is 3 the opposite or is 3 the adjacent? It depends on where we put that missing angle. And so every single time our missing angle is going to be the angle closest to the origin. Every single time when you do reference angles, and you're doing right triangle trig, the angle that's missing is next to the origin. So if the angle that is missing is next to the origin, that means the negative 4 is the opposite, and the 3 is the adjacent. So on this one, the opposite would be 9, and the adjacent would be the negative 4. Now, Jessica already took and passed a test on right triangle trig. So now that she has the triangle itself, she solved for all the sides. She knows who's the opposite, who's the adjacent, who's the hypotenuse. She can do this easy. Opposite over hypotenuse would be negative 4 over 5. Sine goes with cosecant, so that means this one's negative 5 over 4. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so 3 over 5. Cosine goes with secant, so that one's 5 over 3. And then tangent's opposite over adjacent, so negative 4 over 3. Well, then cotangent, just flip it, so negative 3 over 4. Lyric already knows how to do this. She doesn't know how on earth, why I made this picture using that point. But she knows how to do this once she's given this picture. Okay, and I'm not trying to blow your brain. I get I want to do a lot of math, and you're like, my God, Miss Compton, it's May 9th, and I'm so sorry. In my next life, I'll schedule my pregnancy differently so I can make sure you learn trig and algebra 2 with trig. But if Xavier had time, he could set up sine, cosine, tangent, all the 6 trig functions for this triangle and this triangle as well. Okay, so now for the point of it all. So our goal, which we're going to fail at, is to learn the unit circle. So what happened to poor DJ is he's, if you're making a cake, he's added the flour, he's added the milk, he's mixed it on up, he's baking it, and bless his heart, he's never actually going to get to taste the cake. we're setting it all up for him to be done and to understand something called the unit circle, and we're never going to quite make it there because we're just out of time. I'm going to post some links on Google Classroom of games he could practice and stuff he could do to help him be successful in his next math class. If you don't know the unit circle and you're going on to pre-cal in college or pre-cal in high school or whatever your next math class is, I highly recommend you learn the unit circle before then. I think the math department, because I know how much you love doing math over the summer, but you ought to do it for fun, just to learn and make sure you're good to go for next school year to be successful. I think the math department's going to offer a day where you have like a trig review session, so they would go back over this with you. But seriously, if Landon's wanting to still be awesome next year and not cry himself to sleep when they start talking trig, he better learn the unit circle before he goes on to pre-cal. Yes, dear? No, there's no trig in stats. Well, no, not in high school stats. Okay, not what we've been doing, no.
So for now,
Yeah. So, I mean, to be successful in math class, if you're wanting to be an engineer, a scientist, anything that's got math in it, you're gonna need this. Okay, units implies the number 1. So what I've drawn is a circle on a coordinate plane, and I'm going to tell you that this circle has a radius of 1. Everywhere on the unit circle there's a radius of 1. Now if I did what we just did on 19, 21, and 23 and I were to actually draw a triangle on that unit circle, not only is the radius 1, but the way I've drawn it, that also means my hypotenuse is 1. Everybody is 1. So sad day, the 3 you and I just set up was a 5, a square root of 97, and a square root of 45. Not one of them was 1, so 19, 21, and 23 would not be on your unit circle because their hypotenuse, which is also the radius, is not length 1. Okay, so what happens is they use special right triangles to make the unit circle. So you're eventually supposed to know, using your special right triangles, like sine 30 is 1/2. But the ones that we're practicing over here are never going to set you up for this, because on the unit circle, none of your answers are ever going to be over 1. So like our answer of like 3, where did we did 5/3. Yeah, our answers are never going to be that large. Our answer is going to be like 1/2 square root of 2 over 2, negative square root of 3 over 2. So this is our end goal in life, but we're out of time. So what we've done is we've set it all up to get to here, and we're never actually going to get to here because life is just too short.
so is that how it'll always be like with the unit circle that radius is 1? Or can you
Always.
have unit circles with always?
Radius circle, always, like that's why it's called unit circle, because the radius is 1. And then use special right triangles, so 45, 45, 90s, and 30, 60, 90s to make the unit circle. Like what I've drawn is a 45, 45, 90, and then a 30, 60, 90 like here. And they've just drawn triangles all around it to make the unit circle. They used right triangles all the way around to figure out the exact values. Like sine here is 1/2. Sine here is square root of 2 over 2 to figure out exact values. But we're never going to be that cool, and you do not have to know that to be successful with me. But to be successful in life, you're going to have to learn it.